Hi, guys.
Hello, Dina. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Let's see,
Uh,
grab some squishy things, some pillows and blankets. We're going to start in restorative child's pose and or variations. So that'll be our opening meditation. I want you to get real comfy, close to the earth. And then I'll be darting back and forth to keep an eye on the waiting room, though we might be all in. So if you prefer to just yin out in your child's pose, some of you have a yin practice. Of course, you can simply come to your knees. I would start with knees slightly apart for this first child's pose. Sit on your heels and rest your head, any arm variation. Most of us, including myself, will prefer to warm up to that. So here, get real comfortable. If you're going to do a variation on your knees, make sure your knees are very, very padded, like softer than you think. So line a blanket up for your knees, or even extra padding like a pillow if you have any knee issues. With the blanket, I even like to roll up a little bit. Actually, I'll use a separate blanket for my ankles. So you're not, unless you have ballet training and this is like relaxing to have your foot ankle flat on the earth. And even if you have ballet training, I doubt that's relaxing. You have a little pad for your ankles so your feet are relaxed. So that's setting up your base. Protecting the knees and dropping into the hips, either another rolled up blanket to go behind the knees or an actual pillow. Actually sounds yummy to me. So something that you'll snuggle right behind your knees on your calves that you can sit on, a full-on yoga bolster. If your butt's way in the air, that's fine. And then maybe another pillow for on the thighs to support your chest. So there, you can roll up a blanket, but I like something squishier because it does dig into the rib cage. That might be fine for you. And then a yoga block or something that you can put your head on. Or if you're in a very high version, I could turn this to the couch and simply rest my upper body on the couch. I do want your forehead, if you're in a knee down version, in contact with something, your third eye. So as you experiment, if you have questions or need suggestions, you're feeling something that I haven't addressed that you would like to support, well, please share. I would love to learn from you. And if you find no knee down version works for you, then I would go up to a wall or some kind of surface, a chair, and come onto your back with the feet on wall or chair or whatever. And even a pillow under head, so you're in that child pose, embryonic type shape, and can rest. If you have an eye pillow, awesome. Put that on your actual eyes as well as third eye. All right. So while you're settling, I'll be quiet. But again, you don't have to be quiet. Please feel free to ask questions so you can get comfy because you are going to pay attention to your breath. And I did run through that really fast too. Of course, I'll repeat myself. So even though this is a yin / restorative approach to your body, you can, well, you don't even have to turn on your conscious breath, but do start to settle mind on breath. Hey, Nick, we're starting in a supported child's pose. So I'm going to silently pantomime setting that up so you can feel into it. Use all the pillow blankets you need.
Yeah, I think I know what it is.
Yeah. We're doing this as our meditation, so get as padded as you want so you can completely relax into it. If you can see Cynthia's screen, she's a really good example of the support. And unique to restorative yoga is that there's no physical effort in the pose. You're fully supported by props. If you're in more of a yin shape, there's still no effort in the pose, but there'll be more sensation if you're less supported by props. And there is compression or traction in joints, and that's fine. We do that intentionally in yin. But restorative, which is a yin type of yoga, we're taking compression and traction out of joints by using pillows, blankets, putting any pressure into external objects. Well, whether you love it or hate it, we're only doing the one restorative pose today, so no need to get attached or to fight it. I'll stay for a full 90 seconds longer. And if your mind has wandered from the breath, that's fine. That also comes with restorative practice. Those of you who've done restorative classes maybe have witnessed that the mind actually goes into like a dream-like trance without falling asleep. But here I want you to start to turn your active breath back on as you transition back out. Connect to Ujjayi breathing if that helps you develop a rhythm. And if you've been in a knee down variation of this, you'll start to crawl out of the pose, gently nudging props out of the way. No need to go to war with props. If you've been on your back, back away from the wall, take the pillow out from underneath your head, come into a Shavasana type shape. And pause in stillness in your fully decompressed shape. I'm seeing a lot of cat tails go across the screen. Cats love restorative yoga. We'll meet sitting. So take your time in your transition. Allow your mess just to be. Move it aside. But don't be too distracted by it. When we start to move into a more active pose, I'll give you some time to fold up your props again so you can set up your feng shui. Sukhasana. Option to also be on your back. We're coming into Sukhasana forward fold, bowing over your legs, cross-legged seat. Bowing may be simply releasing head, neck. You may actually come down. Of course, you can grab your pillows and blankets and support you as much as you like in this forward fold. We won't stay as long as we would in yin or restorative practice. We'll be here probably long enough that you want to come out, and I want you to be enticed to just stay with your experience. If seated forward fold, great for you at the beginning of practice. Some say we do a full yoga practice just so we can sit. So maybe you come onto your back to the wall or chair and come into a figure 4, right ankle over left, a relaxed variation if your knees held okay with it. Knee to weakness, activate the foot. And here we'll take 8 more conscious breaths. Slow your breath, both the inhale and the exhale. So you can keep your neck soft as you lift up just enough that you can put your other leg in front, seated forward folds, and then enter back into the shape. If you're on your back, simply hook left ankle over right knee, figure 4 other side. Now, my experience with the mind wandering off in the less restorative, less supported poses is still tempted to space out, but much more mundane, worrisome issues have time to crawl in. You start to write the shopping list or mentally run through your bank transactions. So notice that. Notice what's coming, taking over the space you've created for yourself to relax, to breathe, to stretch, to be in physical body. And come back to physical body. Use the sensations to ground your experience. If the sensations are worrisome, change the physical shape so you can actually be with what you're feeling and watch it evolve. Four more breaths. Keep neck soft. Reach back through tailbone. Pull your belly in. Engage around your roots to pull your spine up. And if you happen to have a strap, a block, it's a wall or a surface, you'll grab that and go to your wall or surface. All of these things can be modified. We'll be moving into a series of leg stretches lying down with sacrum en bloc. I'm just going to go fast forward into this. You'll come down much more carefully than I just did. Standing foot will be on wall. So you will maybe fuss a little bit, but breathe while you fuss. So if you're using the wall, your standing leg can be straight, your heel against the wall. Ideally, the way I was taught this, the standing heel is in the corner of floor wall. Obviously, this is not a wall, so you can be creative with your surfaces. Now, not everyone's hip flexor can do that. And Cindy, I don't know what the state of your hip flexors is today. It's fine if your foot needs to be up the wall a little bit. We'll be moving into playing with the right leg, eventually putting the strap on the foot. So putting leg up the wall will feel like you have more flexibility, but you're distorting your pelvis and maybe hurting your low back. So if you can bring your foot lower and standing leg feels safe, bring it lower. All right. If you're not using a wall or surface, well, then I wouldn't use the block. I would just lie flat on your back, no block. And we'll start. I'll give you a moment to slowly find your way. Those of you coming to a surface with your hips on a block or bolster or rolled up towel. It doesn't have to be high and it doesn't have to be hard. It's just something that'll keep your pelvis neutral. And then your strap is in reaching distance. Well, we won't mess with it yet. Whatever shape you're in, bend both knees, put them on the floor. Even if you're flat on the floor, it's cool. Hug right knee into chest. Send an inhale breath into right hip. Exhale, soften right hip. If hands can reach the right leg, you'll hug it in. Otherwise, just feel for knee heavy towards right nipple. Now extend left leg out. Hopefully you're still in a position where you can press foot into wall. Those of you who are not on a block, see if you can start to flatten your left hamstrings onto the earth. That will pull the right knee away from you, but then again, here again, it's because your pelvis is coming back to neutral standing. You're not distorting or straining your low back. Stay in your Apanasana with knee bent. Maybe you're holding onto the thigh. Maybe you're hooking your strap around your thigh so you're not using arms as much. Run softness into right hip. Try to make sure left pinky toe is pointing up to the sky. Don't strain your neck to see it. Just feel into being a little more turned in than you wish. This is usually correct. If you have a strap, hook it on your right foot. Breathe. Right foot might be further away from you than you wish if you're on a block. You might have to fish for it. We're moving into half happy baby. If you don't have a strap, you'll hug right knee out to the right shoulder and start to turn foot up to sky. So if you don't have a strap, you probably can't reach your foot if you're on a block. If you're on the floor, maybe you can. So if you don't have a strap, hook your arm behind your knee to hug the knee in. And continue to send softness into right hip with breath. Feel for the sacrum being heavy on the block. The left hip is still down. You can press it down with left hand. All right, bring right knee back towards center of chest, just right of center. Hold the straps with both hands or hook your hands behind your hamstrings and take a few breaths to slowly straighten and bend the right knee. Get breath into the hamstrings so you're creating a sense of elasticity, not fighting the tension you feel. If you've ever tried to fight tension with more tension, you know what that results in. Well, worst case, injury. And eventually end up in the place where you're stressed stretched but not tense. So straight leg straight-ish. Left foot still working into a wall or left hamstrings onto the earth if you're not on block. Fold the right knee in. Unhook it. Set your foot on the floor. Take a moment, bend your left knee, foot on the floor. Pause with heavy sacrum. Breathe the back ribs onto the ground. Exhale, left knee to chest. If you can hold knee, that's fine. You don't have to. Just breathe into left hip and create softness with your intent. It seems like time is what creates the change, but it's really the focus. Keeping your mind here with your hip. The time just gives you time for the mind to come back after it wanders. So be curious about how much power your mind has. As you feel any shifts in the physical body or in the mental or emotional realm. If you haven't already, straighten your right leg out. If you're not on a block, hamstrings to earth. If you're at the wall, press heel into wall. And just make sure right hip flexors are getting a sweet traction. If it feels like pull of connective tissue, foot up wall. So you're getting the bonus softening in the left hip and the lengthening of the right hip. Sacrum, flat, both hips, even on block or floor. All right, find your strap. Coordinate your breath with fishing for your foot. Move into half happy baby. Open left knee towards left shoulder. Turn a foot towards sky. It's okay if it doesn't turn all the way up. Just open the knee enough that you feel different parts of the hip, thigh, and hamstrings. There are so many areas in this region of the body for tension to hide. So you can't pick a wrong place. Explore with breath. And then draw left knee towards center of chest, just left of center line. And start to do your hamstring stretches. I would slowly bend and straighten knee. To me, that feels like it creates elasticity. If you're working with hardware or arthritis, that bending and straightening might be irritating. Do what works for you. And if you're working with integrity with this standing leg, working that heel into wall or the hamstrings down, yeah, you're going to feel less flexible because you're working with your true body. It's only when we accept what's truly happening does it have a chance to start to change or heal. It doesn't have to change, but our relation to it can change. All right, fold the left knee in, unhook strap, push both feet into the floor so you can ease block out from underneath you if you're on a block. Take a little Shavasana. Actually, take a full happy baby. That'll probably be yummy right now. Happy baby with your butt on the earth. Maybe gooey hips. Tail nice and heavy towards earth. Now let's do abs with a block. Option to put your block between your shins, legs straight up to the sky, directly over your hips. If you prefer to work with feet on the floor, you can put your block between your thighs, but you might want to choose something softer than a block, a rolled up towel or a pillow to hug between thighs. Interlace hands behind your head and neck. If your feet are off the floor, and you can also do feet off the floor in a chair if hamstrings are cooked already, or you're learned from what you're doing that today's not the day to push them. It's never the day to push hamstrings, actually. All right, so choose your starting leg position, activate your feet, inhale down into low back. Make sure knees stay right over hips, they don't come to face. Exhale, curl your head and shoulders up, draw navel to spine. Inhale, head and shoulders down. Exhale, relax. Except for your active feet. Send breath down into your low back. Press low back flat without swinging legs. Hug your block, tuck your tail. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up, draw navel to spine. Little pressure of head into hands so throat is relaxed. Inhale, head and shoulders down. Exhale, relax low back, relax the squeeze on block. 2 more like that. Send breath down into low back. Press the low back flat, squeeze block, tuck tail. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up. Draw navel down, relax your jaw. Inhale, head and shoulders down. Relax low back, relax squeeze. Inhale down into low back. Press low back flat into the mat. Squeeze the block, tuck the tail up, reach balls of feet up. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up. Find some softness in the belly so you can pull it against your spine. Maybe your shoulders rise a little bit when you do that. Inhale, head and shoulders down, feet down. Take the block away. Let's come right onto our bellies for quarter boat. Lie on your belly. Fold your hands so you can rest your forehead on your hands. Send a breath into your back bottom ribs. Fan them out. Exhale, curl pubic bone down into the mat. Start to spiral the right thigh back from the pelvic joint. Lengthening the right thigh out. It might start to raise. Then you activate the foot. Turn the top of the right thigh in towards the left. Relax everything else. Relax the left leg. Relax your face. And if it helps you to imagine pressing your right heel into a wall that's right next to it to engage right around your sitting bone, do that. Exhale, relax the right leg down completely. Breathe in, fan out, back bottom ribs. Exhale, curl a pubic bone, flatten tops of thighs into mat, and then start to spiral left thigh bone back, almost like you're unscrewing the femur from the hip joint. Making some space. Exhale, relax your left leg completely. Low cobra, prop yourself up onto your elbows. Inhale, pull on the mat with your hands to pull your chest forward. Scoop your belly button up so you feel for lengthening the torso forward. Pin your hips down. Exhale, release. Come to all fours. Let's do quarter dog. From tabletop, bring left forearm across your mat. Right arm forward. Head down, maybe on the left arm. You might have to walk the knees back. For some shoulders, you'll want to prop your arm up on a pillow or blanket for less pressure into the shoulder. For some necks, you'll want to put your head on the floor so the back of the neck feels spacious. Once you've set all that up, reach back slightly. Well, you decide, little or a lot, through your down dog tail. Pull your low belly in a little bit without tensing it. And walk your right hand forward, lengthening right arm bone. Land on your fingertips, tent your palm up. Inhale, pull on the ground, drag right shoulder away from your neck. Exhale, relax the right arm completely. Feel for it draining of tension. thread the needle. If you know thread the needle's not for you, stay in quarter dog if it does work. Those of you moving to thread the needle, bring your right palm under your shoulder. Keep your neck relaxed as you press up onto your hands. Move your left hand over to the edge of your mat or off your mat. Some of you like to open the right arm up while you breathe in. You can do that. And then exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left, behind your left hand, so you end up on your right shoulder. Option left arm behind your back. If you prefer to leave left arm overhead or hand on ground, that's okay. They are also correct. Whether you're opening into a twist or you're in a more relaxed variation, just make sure you're not straining the neck. Adjust the angle of your nose so there's no pressure in the neck. And everyone bring left palm down, bow your face to ease yourself up to all fours. And then lie right forearm across the mat to make a pillow for your head. Quarter dog, second side. Extend your left arm forward. Leave your tail high. It's fine to walk your knees back or walk them wider, big toes in for some low backs feels protective. And then once you've got an appropriate position for your tail, extend the left arm forward, walk the fingertips out, itsy bitsy spider. Pull on the ground to drag left shoulder out of ear, long neck. Exhale, relax the left shoulder completely. Let the left arm hang, shoulder droop. Maybe your jaw releases. An option is stay in quarter dog yin variation or slide left hand underneath your shoulder to press back to all fours with relaxed neck. And then thread down onto the left shoulder. Left arm weaves behind right. And yes, if it feels right to wrap right arm behind back, go ahead, do that. But if you want the support of the right hand, that's fine. Leave it on the floor. There is a little compression in the neck. Yes, your weight is all going towards your head, but it shouldn't be a strain. So use a pillow if you need under arm or head. All right, bring right hand back to the floor so you can press yourself up to all fours and take a moment to neutralize your spine, whether that means stretching back into your downward dog or do your dolphin practice or your cat cows. Or you can revisit child's pose. Two more breaths. We'll meet in knee down lunge, right foot forward. We'll do twisting lunge with hand on sacrum. Make sure your back knee's plenty padded. Left hand moves off your mat. There's a lot of space between right foot, left hand. Right hand on sacrum. Turning torso towards right thigh. And then feeling for the hips being heavy in this variation. Neck relaxed. It is okay to allow the left shoulder to slump up, head to rest on shoulder, if that is what's automatically happening for you. And most of our twists will do exactly the opposite of that, but here it's okay. Half splits. Bring your right hand down. Hands frame the front foot. Tuck your back toes and stretch into your hamstring stretch. Let's do nomads variation where you press the ball of the foot to the ground but spread the toes. High lunge. Bend the right knee. You can leave your hands on the ground or blocks if you want, or hands to thigh, or arms to sky, or Shiva arms. Turn your thumbs forward, your palms out, cross right behind left, press the palms together and spiral the arms up, soften the shoulders down. Only if that does not hurt shoulders. Step back into plank, your high push-up. If you need to be on your elbows, do mega plank on your elbows. You'll feel why it's called mega if you compare. Knees can always be down in either plank. Good. Reach your tail towards your heels. Curl pubic bone and navel. Get a scoop of the low belly up. Good. Exhale, lower either into chaturanga or onto your belly. Chaturanga is your low plank with your elbows hugging ribs. Cobra or upward dog. Inhale your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Or cat cow if you prefer. Twisting lunge, left foot steps forward. Twisting lunge, hand on sacrum. Take the time if you want to set up some padding for your right knee. Right hand off your mat, left hand on sacrum. Maybe close your eyes and just feel hips getting softer, heavier. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits variation or half monkey pose. Left hand down, frame your foot, tuck your back toes, shift your hips back. Or nomad's pose from Forrest Yoga, where you press the left foot, trying to flatten on the earth, but then lift and spread the toes. Get the foot bones to fan out. Slow, conscious breath rhythm. Anjaneyasana variations, lunge. Bend the left knee and possibly mirror what you chose on the first side. Whether you left the hands on ground, put them on your thigh, or reach for sky. If you're doing the Shiva arms, turn the palms out and cross left behind right. Hopefully that's the opposite. Good. And especially Shiva arms, keep breathing your chest forward and up out of low back, especially as your shoulders start to sink down. They might not feel like they're sinking. You're right up against your tension, but I can see it. It's a good thing. Relax your arms. Find your way back to down dog or your neutral shape. Take a vinyasa if you like, or take a cat cow. Lizard lunge. Actually, let's do down dog hips first, or down dog abs. From downward dog, or come into tabletop, set your knees down, then inhale the right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, knee left elbow. Pull belly up. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, knee right shoulder. One more round. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, left elbow. Pull the sides of the waist up to the sky. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, knee to right shoulder. Pause, shoulders over wrists, so you can get the knee to touch. And then set your right foot down outside your right hand. You can leave back leg straight or back knee down for this deep lunge variation. Maybe lower your elbows down. Maybe just your left elbow onto a block. Close your eyes and send your breath directly into right hip or left hip flexors if that's what you're feeling the most. Feel for softening them. Utthita Trikonasana. If you're down on your elbows, press yourself up onto your hands. Hands come to frame the front foot. Spin the back heel down with either your left heel in line with your right behind it, or your left arch. Right hand to block, shin or thigh, left hand to hip as you roll open into triangle. Any arm variation. Arms can extend, or you can wrap left arm behind back. Warrior two. Bend your right knee, press your feet down to bring your torso up. Clasp hands behind back, squeeze shoulders. If clasping hands does not work for your joints, whether it's your wrists, your elbows, or your shoulders, and they are all connected, then put your hands on your hips and squeeze your elbows, shoulders back, compressing the upper back, breathing, opening your heart to breath. But even there, continue to breathe into the low back ribs as well. Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Turn your toes in, hands on waist, everyone. Inhale, lift your chest, shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. Lunge to the right foot, simply as a transition. So you can choose runner's lunge or knee down lunge. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, your vinyasa, which can include cat-cow. Or move straight into downward facing. Good. Down dog abs or tabletop abs. You can lower your knees down first and then stretch left leg back. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose without straining your neck. Good. Pull your belly up. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, knee to right elbow, cross under. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Again, inhale back. Exhale to nose. Pull your belly up. Good. Inhale, stretch back, reach your tail back. Exhale, knee, right elbow. Ribs into waist. Inhale back. Exhale, knee, left shoulder. Pause there for a moment, hugging the knees in as close as you can using your waist muscles. And maybe set your foot down outside your left hand right into lizard lunge or deep lunge hip opener variation. And again, your choice. You can leave the back knee straight or you can lower the knee down. You can rest your elbows on something. Or if your arms are getting tired, maybe lock your elbows out. Moving into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle. Ease yourself back up onto your hands. Maybe move your left foot back towards center. So when you spin your heel down, your heels are in line, or front heel to back arch. For some bodies, for some hips and low back, you might actually have to bring the left foot even over towards the toes. That's okay. And then start to spiral open into your triangle. Warrior 2, bend the left knee, press your heels down so you're using your glutes to pull your torso up, not your back. Good. Interlace hands behind back. If interlocking works for you, maybe feel for using the other fingers on top. Shift everything down a knuckle. Or once again, hands to waist, squeeze elbows, shoulders back. Neck can be neutral, or you can choose to tuck chin or to open throat. I find tucking chin while your shoulders are back is very similar to shoulder stand. It's a great prep or substitute for the energetic benefits of shoulder standing. All right, maybe stay bound while you straighten the left leg, turn your toes in, inhale, lift heart. Exhale, forward fold, or do it without the bind. Hands can come to floor or big toes. Spider. Lower your hands down if you're bound. I recommend touching your hips and then letting hands run down legs. Most shoulders will appreciate that. Inhale to a flat back. Turn your toes out, your heels in, and bend your knees. Hips might drop as low as your knees, but not lower than that. Working for a lengthening spine from tail out through your crown. If your hands prefer to be up on your thighs, that's fine. If you like to hold ankles and use your elbows to start to ease your inner thighs open, that's cool. Exhale, forward fold, turn your toes in. Tortoise variations. Heel toe your feet a little. Actually, let's do crow first. Heel toe your feet in to just wider than your shoulders. Crow prep. Turn your heels in and come onto tippy toes, trying to get knees into armpits. Or if you're playing with arm balancing, you might do kakasana with the bent elbows. Either way, feel for reaching the tail back and breathing your heart forward. We're in kakasana prep, Donna. Put in Gustasana, release back into a forward fold, feet hips width apart. If you can reach your big toes, hook them with your index and middle finger. Inhale, look forward, otherwise hold on to sides of legs. Exhale, fold in. And then release your toes. Utkatasana, sit back into a low chair. Sit your tail way back, trying to get knees over heels. Reach your arms forward or up, that's fine. Pull your belly in. An option to work your way down to your seat from here. If you feel gravity start to take over, put your hands on the floor. If that doesn't work for your knees, put your hands down, lower a knee down at a time, and roll onto a hip. Dandasana, legs straight, feet flexed, hands press into the ground by your hips. Lift your heart, shoulders back. If possible, the big toes are together. Chin tucked strongly down into your throat, into the notch between collarbones. Gaze towards toes, strong breathing. Then release that pressure, lift your throat. Paschimottanasana, any variation. Some of you can reach your big toes. Some of you put your hands on your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, breathe the back ribs out and move your heart towards toes. Exhale, ease your shoulders back if you're choosing to fold especially. Strap around feet is also another nice way to make sure your spine stays long. You're not overstretching your back body. Shoulders back is a good way to protect the spine. You're not overstretching. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Option to change your grip. If you've got big toes, maybe you hold sides of feet or stay as you are and exhale back into your fold. Scoop your low belly off your pubic bone. Uddiyana. Purvottanasana. Inhale, glance your eyeballs forward, pull your belly in, reach back through tail to come up. Point your toes, bring your hands to the ground behind your seat. Inhale, lift your chest up. For some of you, this is the pose. Some of you are dropping your heads back. Some of you are pressing your hips up to the sky, your big toes onto the earth. Reverse plank. If your head's back, it's the last thing to come up. If your hips are up, slowly lower down. Heart breathes forward, head follows. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Any expression of Baddha Konasana. You can keep your spine straight. You can intentionally curl up into a ball, or you can relax. Inhale, glance eyes forward, pull belly in, and come on up. Navasana, watch. Upward facing boat, balancing on your sit bones. Hands can stay behind knees, feet can lift up. Some of you will stay here for 5 breaths. I'll cue you through 2 rounds like that. Some of you are feeling playful. Start in your Navasana, and on your own, you'll exhale, roll back onto shoulders. Inhale, try to land the pose. Exhale. Inhale, rise, up to 9 times. So if you're playing like that, I'll let you feel into that. Those of you who are staying in Navasana for the next 5 breaths, come into your starting position. Gaze is straight ahead. If possible, knees stay together. If the knees separate, separate your feet just as wide. 4, 5. Cross your ankles, bring your feet down by your hips, hook your elbows around your knees, lift out of low back. 1 more round. Any expression of Navasana. This is just about as much as keeping the gaze straight ahead on a point in front of you as anything else. In chakra speak, our eyes are connected to our solar plexus, so tune into what you're feeling in belly, lift it up. Cross your other ankle, feet by pelvis, hook elbows around knees. Inhale, lift out of low back. Matsyasana prep. Straighten your legs out. For some of you, this will be just like Purvottanasana. You'll keep your hips on the ground this one. Hands behind your hips, lifting heart up. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will lower down onto your elbows and breathe your heart up. Option to let the head fall back. 5 breaths. If releasing the neck is really uncomfortable, keep the chin tucked. Trying to hold it halfway, I think, can feel real stressful. Now, those of you on your elbows, huge breath into the heart, squeeze shoulders together to help you come back onto your hands, and head will come up last if it was back. Ubaya Padangusthasana. Bend your knees like Navasana. Maybe you reach around your knees for your big toes. You can reach between them if you want. And see if you can hold your big toes, come onto sit bones. An option to extend your legs, option to look up. All optional. Ooh la la, nice. Feel if you can ease your shoulders back just a little bit and broaden through the collar. If you're feeling playful, you're welcome to roll onto shoulders and see if you can stick the pose. Otherwise, bend your knees and come out the way you came in. One more forward fold variation. Some of you will come onto your back, do your forward fold upside down. Some of you will go back into Paschimottanasana or start like Navasana. This time, maybe reach around your legs for your heels. If you can't reach your heels, you can hook behind your hamstrings and start to lift your feet up. This variation, kind of like the last one, but now you're kind of squishing into yourself. Forehead right towards the knees. If you've got your legs straight, holding onto heels, then you start to work your elbows together around your calves. And if you roll right into Shavasana, that's pretty perfect. Yes, this is one you can play with, rolling onto shoulders and trying to stick the pose. Or simply ease out the way you came in, let the knees bent, maybe slide hands down to hamstrings, and ease onto your back. I'll talk through spinal twist. If your body is asking for any last stretches before Shavasana, you can disregard me and move into your own wind down, or you can simply set up a restorative Shavasana. Spinal twist, right knee to chest, roll on to left hip. All other variations are welcome, including twisted root. Spinal twists, you might want to bring your right arm across into fetal curve as you unwind and roll onto your back to set up side two. And roll onto the right side. And as always, if you prefer to rest for longer than a couple of minutes, feel free to ease out now. Otherwise, settle into your Shavasana.
Dina.
Take a deep breath. Start to move your fingers and your toes. The stretch sounds appealing. Reach the arms up overhead. Maybe open the mouth, jaw wide, and yawn. And ease over to your left side. Crawl your way up to sitting. We'll meet with our palms together, thumbs against your sternum, lift your heart. Bow your head to your heart. We bow to each other. Namaste.